Hi, guys. Hi, everyone. Oh my gosh, welcome. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day, as we say, right? How's everybody doing? What's going on? What's shaking? Tell me where you're from. Tell me who's here. I'm so excited to talk about this topic today. I love talking about how to get a deal, but also at a great college. Also, because I was just recently in Ohio. So, one of the colleges I'll be talking about today is in Ohio. Um, but also because if you caught up with me last week, I was in Miami um, on Thursday, which is when I first did this presentation, and literally the lighting in my room was pretty terrible. So I'm back in my studio, and so I'm feeling very comfortable and right back at home. So again, tell me where you are tuning in from. I can't see anything without my glasses, so let me take a look. Hi, Beth from the Chicago area. Beth, like whereabouts? Because one of my favorite students is from Chicago. She's now at Princeton, but we started working with that family a long time ago. So whereabouts are you? I love Chicago. I really do. It's a great city. Deep dish pizza. Thinking about it. Okay, let's see whereabouts it's from. Let's see. Miami do yes. Okay, yay. Naperville. Oh my gosh. Okay, first of all, I love that you're in Chicago or in Illinois, but also thinking about Ohio. How did you know I was going to talk about Miami U? Oh, you're reading my mind. Okay, hi everyone. Just waiting just a minute or two before I get started. If you are new to my world, my family, as I say, welcome. And just so you know, I go live twice a week on Wednesdays and Thursdays for just a couple more weeks because we'll go into essay camp very soon. So Wednesdays and Thursdays, Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Pacific time and on Thursdays at 4 p.m. Pacific time. We do that to accommodate, our time zones because we have students and families across the country. And there's always one that's informal. So tonight happens to be the informal presentation. I literally have my notes on my little whiteboard. And because I just like to talk about kind of just topics that are interesting to me and I think that you find interesting. So I go informal. And then tomorrow, if you missed it last week, I will do the formal presentation, the one that's sort of a standing rotation. It's called the 4 questions admission officers ask before deciding who to admit or deny. So I'm a former college admission officer, and so I take you behind the scenes. So that's going to, this week, it's tomorrow, when Thursday at 4 p.m. Pacific time. Okay. All right. We're going to get started. Okay. Let's see. From Portland, Oregon, another great city. Oh my God. I love this, you guys. Okay. All right. Well, fantastic. Well, welcome everyone. We're going to jump in. I'll share a little bit about me and then we'll get started. Because especially on the informal days, like I like to leave plenty of time for questions. So, whatever, I got you. I'll answer anything. So again, if you're new to my world, let me just share a quick story about who I am and why why should I be listening to this crazy lady? Already, I love to just dig in and say, look, bottom line is when I was applying to college, I'm a daughter of an immigrant mother, and I became super paralyzed. I had this dream of going to USC, University of Southern California, when I was very young. I loved college football. I loved all things college, but I became paralyzed. I didn't know what to do. But my mom had the courage. She had met someone, unbeknownst to me, she had met someone when I was a sophomore and shared with him my dream of going to USC. And he said, when you're ready, just call me and I'll help you. So she did. I said, Mom, it's fine. I'm just going to go to like the local, community college or state college or whatever I said. And she was like, oh, no. Oh, no. That's not happening to my daughter. So she did call Mr. Vargas, who worked at USC in the alumni programs, Mexican American alumni programs. And he is the one who told us exactly what to do, exactly what to say in my application. Even, I think back and it just changed my life. So like you, this is exactly what my mom did. So bravo to you. She'd be very proud to see that you're here and getting some questions answered and some advice. Other than that, I did go on to graduate school at Columbia University. I worked at Barnard College, and then from there, I worked at Vassar College. I worked in the admission office at Vassar. Vassar, if you don't know, is a private liberal arts college back east. It's one of the original 7 sister institutions. It was sister to Yale back in the day, but they're now both co-ed colleges now. From Vassar, I came back to California, where I'm from, and took a job as the director of college counseling at Marymount High School, which is an all-girls private independent school here in Los Angeles. It is where Kim Kardashian went to school, Mariska Hargitay, Giada DeSantis. So I say that not to impress you, but just to impress upon you sort of the resources that were available there and what I got to learn behind the scenes there as well. So all these things I share because they obviously now you get to have my brain for an hour here. So there you go. That's a little bit about my background. I went on and I authored a book, Be Committed, Get Admitted. I've done a TEDx talk and been on a number of TV shows. So anyway, I've been doing this for a long time and have worked with over 10,000 students. Bada bing! That's it. That's my story. So just in case, so you know a little bit of my background. Cool? All right. Are we good? I know if you're new, you're like, who's this crazy lady? Yes, I was a cheerleader when I was a kid. So you can take me out of, Bellflower High School, but I'll always be a cheerleader for students. All right. So today we're going to talk about public Ivies. And so let me start by sharing what does that even mean? Okay, so remember, these are my notes. I don't have a formal presentation. So if you came for a formal presentation, that's tomorrow. Okay. All right. So let me just take a look at my notes here and I'll share with you a few things. So public Ivy. So you might be familiar with what are the Ivy League institutions. And so there are 8 Ivy League institutions, to name a few: Harvard, Yale, Princeton, Brown, Columbia, Cornell, Dartmouth. I'm forgetting one. UPenn, right? I think I got them all. So the Ivy League institutions started out, first of all, as an athletic conference, but they are some of the oldest colleges in the country. And so they tend to be known as the most prestigious and certainly among the most competitive, but they're known for their rigor of academics. And so this public Ivy, was coined by Richard Mull. He's a former Yale admission officer and college counselor. So there's a piece of information. And public Ivies are meant to sort of try to match the academic rigor and the prestige of other Ivy League institutions, but they're a ton more affordable. Okay, so some examples include what we call the flagship institutions for the states. So I live in California, so the flagship institution here is actually Berkeley. I know UCLA tends to be known more. I went to UCLA for my graduate program. And so Berkeley was the very first, of the UCs. That's why they're the Berkeley Golden Bears. And then the next came UCLA, and that's why they're known as the Bruins, or the Bear Cubs. So those tend to be the flagship institutions here. But if you go to Texas, UT, University of Texas at Austin, is the flagship there. UNC Chapel Hill, University of Michigan, you get it, right? So those are some examples of some other public Ivies, but they also, some of them, not all of them, are also the flagship institution for that state. Okay. Okay. So that being said, you're always looking for like, what are the schools that are doing really cutting edge research and have top tier professors, that kind of thing. Now I'm going to go over with you, because I did some research and I did a little chart for you, so we can talk about the actual cost, and we can do a cost comparison. But just I'll tell you and then I'll show you. That's how I roll. So I'm going to tell you that the Ivies, the private Ivies, are going to be typically north of $80,000, right? Getting close to $100,000. There's a lot of they have a lot of endowments, so but nevertheless, I mean, most families in America can't afford that. So over 4 years, you're looking at about $350,000, okay, or more, okay? Whereas a public Ivy is going to run you somewhere between $25,000 and $35,000 per year if you're in state, okay? And then we'll talk about the out-of-state comparison. So don't worry, I got you. So over the 4 years, that's going to be $100,000 to $140,000, okay? So it's a significant savings, right? Now, I will say that even, because I've looked at the list, so I'm going to show you here in a second, that even when you're out of state, it still can be significantly less. So I'll show you the chart, not to worry. But let me just go through my points here, and then we can have time to play. Okay. Let's see. The next thing on my list is like who should consider applying to these public Ivies. So, you know, I want to be clear because obviously what we do or what we specialize in tends to be attracting students who are applying to what we call Ivy League or Ivy level institutions or top 100 colleges. Okay. So most of the students we work with in our essay camps or our VIP clients, they all have at least one, usually several, top 50 college for sure. And then many of them have several top 100 colleges. So I want to be clear that these public Ivies are, maybe not as competitive, like they're not 5%, but they're still competitive. So those who should be considering applying to these, you want to still be a competitive applicant, okay? And there's a range of things of what that means, okay? You also might be considering a public Ivy because you're also considering study abroad or research opportunities, right? A public institution, a public flagship institution, a university, in just based on what that says, that being at a university means typically there are graduate programs at that institution. And graduate programs means that there are PhD candidates and professors who are doing and working on research. So there are research opportunities at these institutions. Make sense? Okay. There's a difference between a college and a university. A college like Vassar College is a liberal arts college, undergraduate only. There are no graduate programs there. So while there are professors there that are doing research, there are no PhD candidates doing research. Okay, so less opportunity in some ways at a college than a university. Okay, now also here's something to think about. Is if you're considering a public Ivy, you want to consider that if you're going to be out of state, there could be some merit tuition. There could possibly be some merit aid available to you. There also can be some tuition reciprocity. Okay, so I'm going to pop into the chat here because I love WUI. Let me see if this works. So this website, I think if you just Google, I have it saved on my phone. So if you just Google WUE, W-U-E, or Witchy, W-I-C-H-E, that you'll find it. But there is, for Western states, there's some tuition reciprocity, meaning like if you're from California, but you find a college on that list that has the major that you're interested in, like there is tuition exchange, meaning you can have the in-state tuition rate at that institution, even though you're not from that state. So that's just one resource, just to give you a little, hope that's helpful, but okay, makes sense? Okay, all right, oh Lord, you guys, I don't want you seeing all my gray hairs. Okay, so that's who should apply. And all right, let's talk about a few. Again, I'm telling you all of this, and then I'm going to show you this list. Okay, so that's how we teach. I tell you, and then I show you, and then we do, meaning I'll answer your questions. So no worries. Okay, here are a couple of gems that I like and I think are sort of on the rise. So let's start with Miami University in Ohio. Oh my word. Okay, so Miami University of Ohio, I'm going to tell you there are a couple of reasons I love that. One, I lived there. I lived in Oxford while I was writing my first book. I had a good friend that I went to Columbia with, and she's the VP there. So she's like, I'm like, I just need to take a year off and just, do my thing. She's like, come, that's fine. And I'm like, okay, great. So I lived in Oxford. I am not that girl. I'm a big city girl. Like, I'm not the little town. But I fell in love with Miami University. I fell in love. Like, first of all that little brick buildings that look like gingerbread houses. It's a great campus. And here's the thing that you want to know as parents. You want to know that the tuition you pay in freshman year is secured for 4 years. It's locked in. Doesn't go up. I mean, just think about the addition you can add to your house, like with the savings. I mean, it's crazy. So I was there recently, not too long ago, because I was visiting some VIP clients who live just, not pretty close to there. So I said, okay, I'll come out. I'll visit my friend, and then we can meet. So we met at Bloomington. So I was just there again, and I just loved it. So I think I could do it. If I had to do it again, I mean, I love where I went to school, but I could live in a small college town for 4 years. There are a lot of benefits to that. And Miami University of Ohio is sort of is known as the public Ivy of Ohio. So there you go. Okay, so that's one of the gems that I personally like. If it matters to you, my opinion, but um, uh, the other one that I'll speak from experience, just because I was just talking about it right now a second ago, is Indiana University. Okay, it's technically not on the public Ivy list right now. I'm going to just say that, but I think it's sort of gonna have its time. So if you want to get in now, I would say get in. So I would just say to you, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. When I was married, my ex-husband, he went to school there, so he wanted to show me his college when we were in Indiana one year, and I was like, okay, fine. I wasn't expecting too much. I mean, the campus is gorgeous. So I went, like I said, a few weeks ago to meet my VIP clients. That's where we met part way from Oxford, and I thought, well, maybe I just romanticized it. Maybe it's not as beautiful as I thought it was. It is. So that's my hot tip. Okay, when I looked up some, just to give you some hot tips, here are some others that came up, um, as like little gems. I mean, like people know, everybody knows, UVA. I mean, Michigan, Berkeley, you know those. But here are the others that came up in my search. Binghamton in New York. That's a good. University of Maryland. Plenty of people love that. University of Minnesota. I also can vouch for that. First of all, I like Minnesota. I love the Twin Cities. So lots of things to like about there. So just think of sort of looking beyond sort of the name recognition. Clemson, I'm sorry, University of Georgia and their honors program also comes up. Okay. So, and we have a student who was admitted he's from New Jersey, but he's got admitted to University of Florida in their honors program. You guys, it's super competitive to get in that. So just think sort of beyond some things that you're thinking about. And maybe if you're considering price, then these are some places to look. Okay. Am I talking too fast? I feel like I'm talking too fast. Are you guys good? Yeah, UNC. Okay. Colleen, I'll get to you. No worries. Let me get through my notes, and then I'll show you the thing I prepared for you, and then we'll answer all questions. Okay, so speaking of the competition, just understand that just because they're not literally Ivy League schools doesn't mean they're not competitive. So just keep in mind that some public institutions have cutoffs for how many out-of-state students they take. Okay, so I just wanted to keep that in mind. Each college is going to have their own business model. And so to give you an example, the University of Texas at Austin, they cut it off at 10%. Like if you look at the in-state, out-of-state admission rate, it's like significantly, I mean, it's just wild. It might as well be literally an Ivy if you're trying to play from out of state. So they cut it off at 10%. So that's probably a rule or law, probably at the state level is my guess. Whereas the University of Michigan, last time I checked, it's about 50-50. It might even be going up slightly more out of staters. So that's their business model, right? Maybe it's because it's a smaller state, maybe it's a smaller population, who knows? But it's a business model. I just want you to keep hammering home, like this is a business. College admissions, college, it's a business. And so having 50% of your student body be from out of state or paying out of state tuition is going to, have an impact on the bottom line. Okay. So just understand that from school to school, it's going to matter what their rules, laws, values are for their institution. For example, at University of California, the UC system is very difficult to get admitted to any of the UCs because I think Governor Newsom has made some promise to the UCs. I mean, basically, the people from the state of California don't want to feel like out-of-staters are taking their spots. It's not really how it works, but it's how it feels to the public. So you get me? You get me? Right? Can I have an amen or type of one and tell me you're there? Okay. So just keep that in mind. All things still apply. It's a holistic review. You want to put your best foot forward. You don't want to just think of these institutions as like, oh, it'll be a shoo-in. No, it's not. It doesn't work that way. Okay. All right. Are they prestigious? Yes. Several of them have, Nobel prize-winning faculty, billion-dollar budgets, Fortune 500 CEOs, like all the things. And I have this little tidbit here that I learned. UCLA sends more students to top medical schools than many Ivies. What? I'm guessing it's because it's like just bigger pool, right? I mean, the number of Dartmouth students in any class is like 1,000. Like, so yeah. Okay. So really some great prestigious things, and you can find different flagship institutions and different public Ivies are going to have a niche and some specialty that they really do really well. Be sure that you keep in mind that you're going to still, like we talk about, building your college list, right? Your realistic reach schools. So 30, 40, 30 rule, 30, 40, 30 rule. Remember, write that down. If you're new to my world and you haven't heard me say this, when you make a list of colleges, it's where you're going to apply, you have to use two rules. One rule, the first rule is you have to use your head. You build a list using your head. You pick a school using your heart, okay? So you're going to use your head, and you're going to go by the 30, 40, 30 rule. 30% should be, no more than 30% should be your reach and realistic reach schools. 40% should be your target or 50-50 schools, and 30% should be your likely schools, okay? All right, good. If you're going to add to one of those, it should be one of the bottom two, not the top one. Yeah. Okay. Don't be too top heavy, you guys. Okay. You want to set yourself up for success. Okay. That's my spiel on the college list. And so let's take a little poll, like just for funsies, and I'll pull up my chart so you can see the tuition break. So I'm going to do that next. I'm going to show and tell next. But while I show and tell, type into the chat, what matters most to your family? Is it prestige? And hey, like, no judgment. I would probably pick that. That's probably what I wanted when I was a kid. Prestige, is it cost? Is it location? Could be all three. I don't know. Okay. I'll be honest, I wasn't thinking about cost when I was 18 years old. Maybe I should have been. Maybe. Yeah, maybe I would have bought a house a lot sooner. I don't know. So is it prestige? Is it cost? Is it location? Go ahead and type that into the chat, and I'm going to set up my show and tell. Sound good? Let's find it here. And then I'll answer any questions you have. Okay. Where's it? Where's my show and tell? Oh, here it is. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, okay, Colleen, no worries. I'm going to talk about UNC. Campus and opportunities, student life for my daughter. Yep. Best program, medical pre-med that she can get into. Quality of education, cost, location, reputation, prestige. Yeah. Quality, cost, location. Okay. Hey, Kaki. Oh my God. I haven't seen you forever. What is happening? Do you have another one, a younger one that I don't know about? Oh my gosh. Good to see you. Okay, you guys, I'm going to share my screen so you can see the little chart that I created for you. Okay. Am I showing? Yeah. Perfect. Okay. So I wanted to share this with you because I wanted for you to be able to see the in-state tuition and the out-of-state tuition, and also just help me kind of like get my bearings here so that oops. Okay. So if you look here, like, oh my goodness, like, look at the out-of-state tuition. Okay, College of William and Mary, that's pretty up there. And so is University of Michigan. Do you see, you guys? Can you imagine if your half the student body was paying out-of-state tuition like that? There. Now I know how they're making money. Jesus. Mary and Joseph. Wow. But there's a few in here like this one, like University of Florida. Stop it. 28,000, you guys. Come on. Now you want to check these numbers, right? Because I just looked it up and I didn't literally go and look up each college of websites, but I wanted to at least show you that even the out-of-state tuition is still going to be significantly less than that 70 to $100,000. Like new NYU is like at 100,000 now. Like it is, tuition, room and board once you're all in. Okay. So these numbers are going to save you significant amount of money. So I wanted to see, I put IU on there because it's like a little close to my heart. I was able to see a student of mine. We have a student there. She's from California. So I met up with a lot of students while I was gone. Okay. So I just wanted to show you the difference here. So you can get an idea. Again, check your numbers. These are what I found as I did a quick search and then I put it into a chart for you so you can kind of see. Okay, but let me look. Oh, here's another one of my favorites. I forgot to say this. You guys, the University of Pittsburgh. Oh my God. Be still my heart. I was in Pittsburgh. This is several years ago. Loved the city. I was on a mission to visit all the baseball parks in the country. I think I'm at 18 now, so I still have more to go. But when I was in Pittsburgh, went to the Pirates game, loved the city, loved that there's water. I think when you're from California or from near water, you want water nearby. Love the enthusiasm. They're all yellow and gold and black team colors, so it feels like a big party whenever there's a game. And then I was on my way to see Carnegie Mellon. I was on my way to go visit Carnegie Mellon for their tour, and planned to go there. And I stopped in my tracks. Write this down: the Cathedral of Learning. I was like, "What is that building? Oh my God!" It was the Cathedral of Learning on the University of Pittsburgh. I literally pulled over, turned, did a U-turn, probably was not safe, parked the car and got out to go take pictures of this amazing building. So there's a great story behind it, and I'm going to sort of mess it up, but it's when they were building it, no building could be taller than whatever some building, I think, in Pittsburgh, unless it was a church. Okay. And so they called it, or they basically labeled it that it was going to be a church. So that's why it's called the Cathedral of Learning, because they wanted to make it super tall, and it's just amazing. And then each of the rooms, there's like a Dutch room, and they got the community from the city, different, the Dutch community. The Chinese community, all the different ethnic communities, they got together, and then each community got to pick how they decorated each room. I mean, it's amazing. Okay, I digress. I know I've been to visit 300 campuses, so I'm a wealth of knowledge. I don't know if any of this matters to anybody, but there you go. Oh, University of Delaware. Oh, University of UConn. Oh, come on. Stop it. Penn State. Yeah. Penn State was where I was visiting when I saw my first snow on the East Coast. Don't get me started. Yes, I didn't know how to get snow off my car windshield. Yeah. True story. Okay. There you go. Now I want to show you some other cool things, but I'll stop and answer some questions before I show you some data that you're going to be very interested in. So let me stop share for a second. Okay, let's see. What questions do you have? Let's go back to. Now, Colleen, where are you from? Maybe you already told me. Hang on. Sorry. Oh, yeah, Austin. Oh, I need to visit Austin. I'm headed to Houston in a couple weeks, but I need to visit. We have several clients in Houston. Okay, so if you're interested in UNC, okay, so we should look it up. We you know what? We'll make that our project. We'll look up UNC. I don't think they tell us how many in-state, out-of-state. That would be key to know. So my tip to you would be, unless we can find it, is to ask what percentage of their student body comes from out of state. So that's key number one. Key number two would probably be, the tip would be to apply early, because I think they have one of our students was admitted from one of our students from California was admitted there this year. I think it's more along the lines of a UT, maybe not as strict as UT with the 10%, but I don't think I know it's not 50% like Michigan. There's almost no other like Michigan. Wisconsin is 25%. Last I checked, about 25%, but I'm not clear on UNC. So let's try to find that answer together. I'm going to show you what to do there. Is that helpful? Hopefully that's helpful. Okay. Other questions, you guys? Let's see. No questions. Come on. I'm an open book. Literally, I'll tell you anything you ask. Literally. I mean, if you have the audacity to ask, good for you. I say good for you. Ask away. Okay, think of your questions. And I'm going to show you this sheet here. Okay, so when you work with us, I can share how we work with students also, but when you work with us, we really use, you got to make a list with your head, remember? Make a list with your head and use the data. Don't get emotion and ego wrapped up in your list of colleges. That is not the time, okay? You want to set yourself up for success. How about University of Florida? Okay, all right. So Colleen, you're like a gold star. I'm going to take Colleen's. Okay, let me share my screen. Share screen. Choose my window. Yeah. Okay. So the students that work with us and the families that work with us know that we use the specific reports that come from the college. We don't just Google the acceptance rate, or we don't look at ChatGPT and use College Board. Like, we use real data directly from the college that shares with everybody. And so we've curated this list. So this is a list. If you're one of our students, it's in your module 4. Module 4. We're on module 5 now. So it's in module 4 is the last module. Okay. So this whole spreadsheet is there. Now, if you look here, I'm highlighted some things here. So we look to see where women have an advantage or where men have an advantage in the applicant pool, et cetera. So if you see here, Brown University receives significantly more female applicants than male applicants. Whereas MIT, Caltech, also Carnegie Mellon would fall into this category, receive significantly, Georgia Tech, significantly fewer female applicants. Okay, so that's going to play a role. So anyway, we're going to hop down here to our flagship Publix, and I'll share with you a few things. All right, so let's click on, what did you say? University of Florida and UNC. Let's just open these up. I'll share with you some things. Anybody else, if you have a, oh, and here's that website that I was sharing with you, the WUI website, the sharing of the tuition for Western states. Okay, this is what it looks like. So, okay, so I pulled up, let me see if you guys have any other colleges you want me to look at. Let's look at Michigan just for comparison. And Wisconsin, because I brought it up. And UT. Okay, let's start with UT so I can show you what I mean by like their percentage. So first of all, we're going to look here in this section, section C, for all of the reports. And you can see right here. Okay, so, you know, I can't. Okay, so first of all, their male to female applicant pool is about the same. It's not significantly different, but it is slightly higher. Now, truth be told, I'd be really interested now that UT is one of the ones that's over 100,000 applications as of this year. It used to be just 5 from the University of California system, but I think it's as many as 10 or 11 now. Okay, so UT. So I'd be really interested to see what the breakdown was for this year. So we'll wait to get those numbers, but they're coming. And then if you can see down below, you can see the in-state applicants and the out-of-state applicants. Again, this is from last year. So just, you know, don't get your panties in a bunch quite yet, but it's going to be even worse for this year. Okay, so you see here, this is how many they admit. You can do the math, you guys. I mean, it's low. And then look how many attend. It's 825. So that's 10% per, pretty much, almost to the nose. Okay, so that's UT. That's like the complete extreme. Let's pop over to Michigan because this should be the other extreme. So, is this helpful, you guys? Please tell me, talk to me. I don't like that I can't talk to you like in Zoom, but I love StreamYard because I can stream in like 3 places live at one time. So I love that, and that's why we keep it. So here is, again, nothing too different, male to female ratio. But look how many men are offered spaces. I know, don't get mad. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just telling you, this is what you need to know. Inquiring minds need to know. Okay. And then I think this is the one. Where are the in-state, out-of-state? Okay. This is the report. I guess this is the report that doesn't show me the in-state, out-of-state. But I think I Googled that once and it gave me that number because I know it's about 50%. And that makes sense because so many, there's plenty of kids that get, I mean, it's getting competitive, but it's kids that get into Michigan that we work with is what I'm saying. Okay. So anyway, so there's the stats there. Now let's boogie on over to, what's this school? Wisconsin. So Wisconsin, let's see if they share their out-of-state numbers. Wisconsin's similar in male to female breakdown, but they admit more women. Look at that. Love that. Hey, now. Okay. And then you see the breakdown there. Okay. Oh, they give the out-of-state, in-state. Okay, good. Oh, you guys, what is happening right now? I learned something new today. So when I went to visit Wisconsin years and years ago, they explicitly said that they were at a 25% out of state. They actively recruited 25% for out of state. So this now they're inching up towards 50-50. Again, I'm going to guess that it's obviously a smaller state, the population, they might be, it just might be, that's how they're attracting people from out of state to fill their classes, fill their classrooms. So I don't judge, like that's what it is. So there you go. What a great thing. I hadn't really paid attention to this number before. Yeah, or recently. So that's good to know. Wisconsin is another one of my favorite schools. Probably because of water. They're near water as well. Okay. But it's also freezing. So there's that. Okay. I'm going to check to see if you're talking to me. Ohio State. I will in Miami. Miami U. What are some overlooked premier pre-med units with excellent access to? Oh, Lord. That's a pretty specific question, Mia. What are some overlooked pre-med? Well, you're looking for premier STEM schools. So I would look at like the Georgia Techs and places like that. So, okay, I'll show you something that might be helpful. Okay, I digress. Let's go back to here for a second. Okay, so here's the mail. Where are we? What did I click on, you guys? Oh no, I forgot. What school is this? In-state, out-of-state. Okay, wow. Look at that in-state, out-of-state. Can you guys see that? I can't see that without glasses. My God. If you have Superman eyes, you can see that on the screen. But look at this. Out-of-state tuition, out-of-state applicants, 36,000. They admit 3,000. Basically, 3,400 and 700 come. Okay. Okay, what school was this? Let's see. Oh, UNC Chapel Hill. Here you go. All right, let's pay closer attention than we were just doing for a second ago. UNC Chapel Hill. Okay, so what is that math on that, you guys? So a total of 40. Where's my phone? I'm going to do the math. A total of 4,700. Let's call it 4,700. What is that? 10%. What? Let's try 15%. 15%. Well, 15% would be 705. So it's just above 15% is the out of state. Ooh, that's not great. It's not the worst, but it's not great. Okay, well, there you go. Okay, somebody asked about that. I think it was you, Colleen. All right, let's look here. What's this one? University of Florida, UF, main campus. Okay, I know one of our students, like I said, is from New Jersey, and he got into their honors program, which is super competitive. But let's take a look, see what they say here. Again, these numbers are from last year. The new numbers are slowly coming in. You might be able to find them now, but they're slowly coming in. Okay, so we've got a significant differential of male to female. Oh, they don't give. This is the one, another one. They don't give their in-state, out-of-state. You could probably look it up, Google it, or Chat GPT it. Yeah. But it's very low, and I know that only because the mom did the mom of the son who's going to University of Florida with the honors program. She was like, oh my god, it was like under 10%. Blah blah blah. So, okay, I think that's it. Okay, and then you guys wanted me to look up. What else did you want me to look up? Ohio State. And Beth, are you saying Miami University of Ohio or University of Miami? I can pull them both up, but okay. I thought I had OSU on here. Hang on. Well, here's you, Miami. I think you mean the other one, because we're talking about public schools right now. So I think you mean the other one. But where is OSU? Okay, well, we need to add it. All right, so let me pull those two things up. Hang on one second. Ask more questions. Happy to answer. And then let me find this. Ohio State. Do we have it? Okay. The most recent one they have for Ohio State is 21-22, the only one I can find. And then you wanted me to look up Miami University, I think. Miami University. So one thing I'm going to tell you about Miami, only because I know it intimately, because she's one of my best friends, like, is the VP there. So I will just tell you that, and I've even talked to her about this, like their acceptance rate is higher than it should be. And that's just because they don't do a ton of, like, there are a lot of colleges, honestly, that manipulate their numbers by using early decision and things like that. Come on, open. Is it opening? Oh, here it is. Okay, now I can share my screen again. Sorry, I had to like go find what I was looking for. Window. Let's look at this one first. Okay, so here is Ohio State, whoever was asking about that. So we go to section C. We can zoom in here. Okay. So again, this one is not great because the only latest one I could find was 21-22. So this is not going to be completely accurate, but it'll give us some idea. Okay, so slightly more female applications. That's not unheard of. Like, that's pretty much true almost everywhere. And they don't list in-state, out-of-state. Okay, that's unfortunate. This is not a great thing because it's not really the most recent. So let me share my different screen. Hang on. Share screen, window, boom. Let's go here. Okay, so as I was saying, when I was there visiting, her name is Jane, Dr. Jane Brownell. I told her, I was like, your board must be like wanting you to do more, because she's like, she agrees, but basically, how can I say it nicely? But they're just nice. They're not trying to like manipulate their numbers like several other schools are. And if you want to know what I mean by that, I'm happy to explain, like ED and all of this stuff. Okay, so here it is. So again, let's see, what year is this? 23, 24. Okay, so it's last year. So it's the most recent thing. And they do have about 3,000 more female applicants, but they don't seem to. Okay, so it's about 3,000 more that are getting admitted. So, okay, so they have a high acceptance rate, and then they do in-state, out-of-state. So there you have the numbers there, in-state, out-of-state. Okay. And so the value here is you really get a quality education. I can attest to that. I know I've met the president, and obviously I know Jane. But many colleges that are trying to climb the ranks on the U.S. News and World Report, what they do, a lot of strategies they use, but they use early decision numbers. They pack their freshman class with EDs so that they can take fewer percentage-wise on the back end. So anyway, there's a whole big strategy to this, but college admissions is a business, and some colleges have a greater desire to play that business in a more aggressive way. So Miami just happens to not be that way. And I don't think it's going to take too long before they change, because I think there's going to be, I just happen to know that there's already pressure. So if you want to get in now. Okay. All right. Questions, comments, concerns. I'm going to share with you, if you don't mind. Oh yeah. University of what? Okay. You want to look? It's the last one I'll show you. And then I'll share with you how we work with students. So in case you have questions about that, I can do that. I think University of Washington is on my spreadsheet, if I'm correct. Where is that? Here. Yeah. Let's see if it shows the out of state. Okay. I hope I'm saying your name right, me. Come on. Go. All right. So let me share my screen. Okay, so this is this is the most recent one that they have, because you just saw me click on it. So it's from last year's data. They have significantly more women applicants by about 6,000. But it looks like they're admitting about that many more that they're admitting. So, okay, I appreciate that. Let's look and see if we can find the out of state. Do they? Oh, they do. Look at that. Out of state applicants. 42,000. Nearly 43,000. Oh my God. Yep. Yeah. I mean, I've had students who weren't admitted to UW, but were admitted to like Berkeley or something like that. I've definitely have had that happen. It doesn't always happen. But out of state UW is about equivalent to a UCLA, a Berkeley ish, maybe San Diego. Okay. So yeah, I hadn't looked at this one for a while. So thank you for calling attention to that. All right, my friends, let me tell you a few quick things as to how we work with students, in case that's important to you and you are looking, if you are, I would just say this, the best thing to do is to schedule an appointment with me, but I'm going to share my screen here and just give you the quick version. Where's my thing? Where'd it go? Okay, I'll give you like the 5-minute version. Okay. Window, boom. Okay, well, you know all about me. But we have this sort of Ivy success formula that we do. And am I sharing my screen? Yes, I am. Okay. Okay, so just understand that we have three components of our Ivy success formula. Okay, now I say Ivy, meaning whatever your dream college is your dream. But the first thing that I want you to understand is that I hear passion projects all the time and doing community service, that people feel like that's the answer. That is not the answer. Okay, when we look here at the hierarchy chart, the leadership hierarchy chart that I've created after my TED Talk, I really wanted a visual of what I was talking about. So understand that level 3, what we call coolness factor or coolness project, is what you refer to as your passion projects. A passion project is something that you would do whether or not somebody paid you to do it or gave you a grade to do it. Okay, your child loves learning languages. Your child loves all things Bridgerton or all things baseball. You have collectibles. You're on a club volleyball team. You have a part-time job. You're putting in, 2 hours a week at a community, doing community service. Like, okay, those are all good things. Elvis is my dog and he's growling at me. So that's level 3. But the difference here is we work with students and we say level 4 is like almost a non-negotiable. You've got to get to level 4, which is an impact project. So write this down. Impact project has 3 criteria. We borrow it from the Girl Scout Gold Award. 1, solve a problem. 2, for a community you love. 3, 80 hours or more. Boom. Okay. Most students are doing something that they enjoy enough that with some work and some effort, you could make it into an impact project, or we would teach you how to do that, or we would pair you up with someone that we use on staff that helps place people and for an impact project. Okay. Intellectual curiosity is, research, highly competitive internships, things like that. Again, for our students who are applying specifically trying to get admitted to Ivy League or Ivy level, like top 25 colleges, we really hone in on that as well. Okay. There are some examples, but for the sake of today, I'm just going to go through these quickly. So the next step that we take a look at, so step 1 is that we really take inventory of where you are on the hierarchy chart. That is key to success in your application, okay, when you're applying to top 100 colleges. Key to success, number 2, is the essays. So the big problem is that, students tend to spend 70 or 80% of their time focused on one personal statement, really getting that really, really correct. That's not wrong. So that's one mistake they make. The other mistake they make is choosing to write about the most common topics: athletics, community service, and the 3Ds: death, divorce, and devastation. Okay, that's not the answer. This is what we concentrate on. We concentrate on our signature core 4 essays, and we do this. We work with our students in our essay camps that we offer in the summer, 5 essay camps that we offer this summer. But we also, if you're a VIP client, like, this is what we're doing. And we're also taking this and helping you understand that you're going to need somewhere between 18 and 68 essays by the time all is said and done. What just happened? Dr. Cologne, what did you just say? Yes, let me repeat. Depending on how many colleges you're applying to, your child is applying to, they're going to need somewhere between 18 and 68 essays. No joke. Yeah. Again, I can explain in a second, but basically for every college you add to your list, it exponentially grows the number of essays you need. Yeah, I know. We've been doing this we were among the first essay camps back in 2003. I know, I'm dating myself. I know, I look young. And here's what I'll say to that point. I was working at Marymount High School. I had a student to counselor ratio of 50 girls to 1 of me. There was another college counselor had another 50. And that still wasn't enough time for us to give the feedback that the girls needed during the fall. So we started an essay camp. So we've been doing this for a long time. That's why the number is crazy, how many students have used our essay formula. Okay, so that's step 2. Step 3 is understanding where the context of who you are, where you come from, meaning the school group that you come from. You're going to be competing among your students from your school to any college. So the problem with that is that where you apply tends to be where everybody else from your school applies, because that's what you're talking about. So wherever everybody from your school is applying to, you're competing with. So we take a different approach, and I just showed you some of this, that we take the reports directly from the colleges so that we help you create a list with your head, not with your heart, emotion, or ego. Okay. So really strategizing on like how or which colleges are going to that you're going to have leverage at, not just like sort of willy-nilly throwing spaghetti at the wall and like hoping, right? Hoping what is it called? Like a wish without a plan is just a hope, not a, it's nothing more. So you want to have a strategy going into this. Here are the UCs, those of you from California. And now there's 6 of the UCs out of the 9 that receive over 100,000 applications. So Davis joined the group this year. So these numbers are just out of control. Okay. So again, we help you strategize using your head and the data to drive your decision on what goes into your list, not just being emotional or egotistical in this process. Okay. Students are not rejected. Applications are. If you haven't watched my TED Talk, please Google me and on YouTube. You can find it there. And yeah, just trust me. Okay. All right. And then the last thing is this. You're only going to be remembered by they're going to read your application 6 to 12 minutes, and you'll just be remembered by about 4 sentences. So here's just a few examples. Here's Mateo. You can also see if it's important to you that our students also win merit money. Here's Jonna. Okay. This is just what I remember. Boom. Okay. Here's Charlie. Here's Emily. And Alexis. Okay. I realize I should switch these out. Most of these kiddos are from California, but we have, kids from all over. So, okay, that's it. They're not superhuman, you guys. And none of these kids were literally the valedictorian or curing cancer. Like, not recruited athletes, just normal, ordinary students putting in extraordinary efforts. Okay. All right. And last thing I'll put up here is our essay boot camp. That's the basic level that you can buy with us in terms of the packages that you can purchase to join our family. And that's our essay boot camp. So 5 days, no homework, 3 to 5 essays done. Bada bing, bada boom. And here are the dates in case you are wondering. You can join us virtually for any of the dates, but if you happen to live nearby or want to come make it a vacation, you're welcome to join us in California or in New York. Yay! Okay. That's what I have to say about that, you guys. Make an appointment with me. I'm happy to walk you through what strategies you need specific to your kiddo. Beth, are these necessary for most colleges or just top 50? You mean the essays? I think you mean the essays. If your question is, I keep messing up my hair, so I'm going to hide my grace. If you mean the essays, yes, not just for the top 50. It's okay. So let me explain the essay breakdown in case that's curious, and helpful to you guys. So if you are using the Common Application, which most students are, that is one essay, the 650-word personal statement. So the personal statement is one essay, right? Okay, you're like, just like me, Gen X. Hey, holler, who's Gen X like me? I wrote one essay. I called it a day. Now that's one essay, and then every time you add a college to your list, each college, most, not all, like Northeastern, they don't ask for supplemental essays. A supplemental essay is an additional essay that the college reserves the right to ask. And can be an extra question that requires a 50-word answer, 150-word answer, 550-word answer. It just depends. So I have found that schools range from 2 extra essays to 7 extra essays. Yikes. I know. Okay. So you just do the math. Yeah. If you just do that. Now, on top of that, if you're from California and or applying to the UC system, the University of California system requires 4 essays. They're 350 words each. So you get a total of 1,400 words. They do not take test scores and they do not take letters of recommendation. So all that's left on the UC application are your 4 essays, your activities section. That's it. Your AP scores, maybe? Do they take? Yeah, that's it. Okay. So are the essays important in the UC application? You better believe it. Are the essays important in pretty much every other application? You better believe it. Why? Because the pool that you're applying to, whatever it is, whether it's Gonzaga or LMU, St. Louis University, or Rice, Duke, Northwestern, doesn't matter. 60 to 80% of that pool of applicants are all equally academically qualified. So your academic qualifications, your quantifiables, are typically don't win the day. That's not alone what's going to get you admitted. Okay? I know. Sorry. It's not what you want to hear. It's what you need to hear. And that's what I'm here for. I'll give it to you real, raw, and candid with a whole lot of love. All right? Okay, you guys. Oh, you meant the, oh my God. Beth, I just went on a whole tirade. I feel like a knucklehead. I meant the passion project. Okay, yes. Okay, good question, Beth. Level 4 for me is a non-negotiable if you're applying to top 50 colleges. For me, it's an insurance policy if you're applying to anything else. So if you work with if you become a VIP client of ours, we're going to push you to do the level 4 or above. But plenty of our campers and plenty of our students like settle on level 3, the coolness project. So not to worry. Okay. But for me, I'm like, if you're applying a top 100 college, like just do it. Just for the insurance policy, like just do it. Because it's usually not a whole lot of effort. It's like, oh, should I take the honors class or the AP class? I mean, yes, the AP is going to be more work, but how much more work? You're already doing the work. Like, just do it a little bit extra because you're never going to regret doing more. Yeah, I know. I told you. I give it to you straight. Okay. All right. Ooh, 7:02. Bada bing, bada boom. Anybody else? Quickly. Okay. Well, I told you Elvis was growling, so I think he needs a walk. Okay, you guys. All right. Tell me on a scale of 1 to 10, how helpful was today's topic or session? I just like to know because I love doing the informal ones myself. Tomorrow's the formal presentation. Formal. I mean, you see how formal I am. So it's like the admissions 101 tomorrow. It's the 4 questions admission officers ask before deciding who to admit or deny. So that's tomorrow, and tomorrow is 4 p.m. Pacific time. Okay. So you can find us same place, same time, different time tomorrow for your admissions 101. Sound good? Okay, my friends. I hope to see you. Please make an appointment if you are considering any of the packages. Me or someone from my team will meet with you and get you squared away, because if you have a class of 2026, you need to start like yesterday. You're 6 months away. Hate to say it to you. I know. And if you have a class of 2027, yay, perfect timing. I met with a couple of sophomores today who are considering joining because you have a longer runway, but you're still only 18 months away. So that's all I got for you today. All right, guys, be committed, get admitted. Go make it a happy day. Bye now.